Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for clicking on. This is an unanticipated live. We'll try to keep it relatively short. Here's what's going on and what might happen. What we're looking at right here, right now, we are looking at flight flight radar, specifically this plane. There were five of them lined up here. What happened to the other three? Um, there are currently two visible um, stratotankers off the coast of Portugal, and there were five lined up. Um, Very odd, and they're U.S. stratotankers flying out of Great Britain, um, possibly to refuel some planes, even possibly B-52 bombers on their way over toward the Middle East. All of this is speculation. Well, the tankers are there, and the tankers are there for a reason. They're there to refuel other aircraft, and presumably aircraft that has come from the United States mainland. Again, there were five of them. Three of them have turned their transponders off and are no longer visible. Okay, here's what is happening. Um, all United States military bases have raised their threat level to Charlie, threat level Charlie. Again, all United States military bases from Northern Command have raised their threat level to Charlie. Now, the only higher threat level is Delta, and that is basically an attack is all but ongoing. Okay, Charlie specifically is indicated for terrorist potential attacks, potential terrorists, whether foreign or domestic attacks on U.S. military bases. So we've got refuelers off the coast of Portugal. We've got the United States military putting all the bases on threat level Charlie because of possible terrorist attacks, which would be attacks from presumably Iranian sleeper cells inside the United States if the United States hits Iran. We are pretty well certain that Israel is going to hit Iran. It's just a matter of when, where, and how big. Um, However, the longer it goes, um, the less likely of an attempted overwhelming strike by Israel, in my opinion. All right, so let's recap real quick here before we go into a couple of other things. Threat level Charlie, all United States military bases, and this is primarily a terrorist incentivized potential threat. The only higher threat is Delta. We've got the refuelers, as you can see, we've got one, two, um, and then they both came out of Mendenhall in Great Britain, and there were five of them lined up. So, as well as two other refuelers leaving the east coast of the United States not too long ago. If we were flying B-1 bombers or B-52 bombers, of course, their transponders would be off. Um, Now, you put all of that with what we've got to show from the bookmarks. 911 outages reported in the entire state of South Dakota. Also, 911 outage reported in Las Vegas, Nevada, as well as other portions of Nevada. And I'm hearing Texas, portions of Texas, also without 911. Is this some sort of cyber attack? It's awfully coincidental. Marjorie Taylor Greene offers an amendment to make funds from the Israel funding bill available for the development of space laser technology on the southwest border. This is real, not made up. This is absolutely an embarrassment. First of all, if there was a need for space lasers on the southwest border, wouldn't you think someone from the southwest would be proposing it and not an attention seeker from Georgia? That's just one thing to think about. Anyway, we got another Marjorie Taylor Greene thing here, believe it or not, coming up. And again, you can see this is indeed for real. I need to play this for you. This is Mike Flynn, General Mike Flynn, who was pardoned by Donald Trump and let out of prison. The QAnon slogan, Flynn knows where the bodies are buried. Well, maybe that's why he was pardoned. Flynn says we're in World War III. We might not have an election, and speculates repeatedly about a Trump assassination. Let's listen just a little bit here of Mike Flynn and why I think he's possibly one of the most dangerous people to American democracy.
Flynn knows where the bodies are buried. And that gets to, Flynn knows where the bodies are buried.
Are they going to try to physically kill Trump before November? So do you think they're going to try to kill Trump before November?
I think that there has been conversations about that. I would venture to guess that there.
You mean
I would speculate that
conversations?
Yes, that
that's happening.
Well, I just it's speculation. I don't have any hard evidence about it, but you have to understand how dangerous the circumstances are that we are facing right now. There's 5 examples in probably the last 50 years where somebody that was in the same situation as Trump, a leading candidate, leading opposition candidate, and these are other countries around the world. And those five individuals, they were either imprisoned or killed. There has to have been a conversation that talked about that, because it's like, we can't have this guy get back into the White House.
Why haven't they tried yet?
Well, they may have. We don't know that. So, I don't want to sit here and speculate on, the potential assassination of Donald J. Trump.
But our audience
this is a real thing.
So you're good at. Let's put the Trump assassination thing aside for a second, because there's other concerns, and I've heard you voice this, which is, what do you see on the horizon as a potential threat to make this election not like any others?
Yeah.
What sort of asymmetric warfare do you think could be employed?
Yeah, we talk about, I've written a book, myself and Boone Cutler, who's here with me today. We wrote a book on 5th generation warfare. So what are the potential scenarios? Well, we're at war right now. This is World War III. Folks, we are in World War III, okay? So they may not call it World War III, but we're in World War III. And if this president, who can't even complete a sentence, he decides to do that, we could actually see a scenario where we don't have an election. If they feel that Donald Trump is going to win the presidency, I believe these people will do anything that they can. I mean, look at what they're doing now. They're trying to put this man in jail. They're trying to destroy his entire life.
Actually, they're just have him on trial, and they keep calling it a hush money trial, but it's really about misuse of election funds, and that doesn't get talked about much. Anyway, moving along, Israel prepared for and then aborted retaliatory strikes against Iran on at least 2 nights past this week. 3 Israeli sources tell ABC News. Well, there's only been 2 nights. This is Wednesday. So Monday night, when we said everything appeared like they were going to strike, they were prepared to do that and then aborted it. Last night, when everything looked like they were prepared to strike, we came on and they aborted it. So we are not saying there's going to be a strike tonight. We actually, as you will see, that may not be the case for quite some time, but we'll get there. China and India have silently agreed not to use firearms along their border in their dispute because technically, with no firearms, a clash or a riot doesn't constitute an act of war. Remember, both China and India are in BRICS, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, the 5 countries that originated BRICS, BRICS, and going to war with each other when they may have to, India's going to have to choose whose side they're on. It looks like they might be on the side of BRICS despite this border dispute. And as we're going to show you here, briefly without the volume. This is what's going on at the border. The Indian soldiers have longer poles back, and the Chinese had little smaller poles when they tried to overrun the area. So again, they've agreed not to use firearms. And okay, this is just one of those things. I just felt like, sometimes you need something that isn't like pointing towards the end of the world, something that it just makes you go, wow. This is Sebastian Steutner, a German pro surfer. He rode a wave over 115 feet tall off of the coast of Portugal. And it's something incredible to see. Let's run back here. All right. First of all, you can't even, you just follow this line. This is where he's at right here. And you can't even tell it's a person or there's anything, until the wave starts to break. And then you can see he picks up, there's the light changes. I mean, there's no way I would be even where these people are standing and watching because of the height of that wave, let alone out there on a surfboard. The power right there as it comes crashing down breaks bones. Anyway, the awesomeness of nature and the audacity of humanity. And sometimes you end up doing something great by risking it all, which he is doing right there. O'Keefe Media uncovers who's really running the White House. Now, I've talked about this before with Chris. Chris will be on Friday night at 9. And again, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for watching tonight. I've talked about this, that, people don't like when you tell the truth, when you're in the middle and you're telling the truth about both sides. People don't like that. People on either side do not like that. But the truth is, I don't think Joe Biden is making all the decisions. He's not writing his tweets. He's not, of course, writing his speeches. And as Chris and I have talked, if he's not making all these decisions, who is? Now, this is an alleged undercover camera catching special advisor, second most powerful person in Washington. And I just felt like you probably would not see this on any other place that you might normally watch. Maybe you will. I'm not going to show the whole thing, obviously, because it's 18 minutes and 32 seconds long. But I'm going to show you here just the first couple of minutes.
Oh, you reported to Chief of Staff. So author's the Chief of Staff to Guzman.
Yeah, Isabella Guzman.
So she's basically a spokesperson for Biden.
Yeah.
She's indirectly campaigning for Biden.
Yes. Yeah.
Administrator Guzman said basically are going to these critical battleground states to basically campaign for President Biden.
Anything time we go, we try to visit with a member of Congress if they're a Democrat. The White House was like, yes, go. Don't invite the other senator because he's a Republican. And don't invite the 2 members of Congress because they're Republicans. There's a guy named Jeff Sykes. And by getting Jeff's sign off, you're getting the president to sign off. People call him like the second most powerful person in Washington. Most times it's like, hey, whatever this guy says is what the president says.
Who would you say is the most powerful person at the White House?
Jeff,
Jeff is the most powerful person at the White House.
other than like the president. There's probably like 5 or 6 people that work for Joe Biden and have worked for him for 30 years. One of them is Ron Clay. Ron worked for Biden when he was like a senator. There's a guy named Steve Ricchetti. He's like a senior advisor at the White House. Anita Dunn. Yeah, she's a senior advisor at the White House. Gene Sperling. He's an economics guy. Oh, his sister, Biden's sister. She like runs the Biden Foundation. They're the people that run his different departments. If they put it on his desk saying like anything, it's the office.
So I feel like Barack Obama's still very like involved.
No, he is.
Yeah, Hillary was being interviewed, and she said, "I still talk to the White House every day."
She has people that are like super close to her that are still like senior people in the White House.
So who is she talking to in the White House?
Probably Neera Tanden.
I hope Hillary's still involved behind the scenes.
No, she is.
Okay. Again, giving you something to think about. No matter which side of the political spectrum you lean on, do you not see that we are screwed? I hope you do. James O'Keefe is the place that you can come and see this in its entirety on X. Okay, the question is asked in this X post: why did Israel commit the genocide in Gaza? And then the poster says the answer is right here. If you watched the show, you know Chris and I talked about this right at the very beginning of all this. This is why this is all happening, because Israel wants that property. Israel has already sold the oil rights to British Petroleum. And now here is Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Hang on. Let me get it. I can't do that. Okay. He has just come back from a meeting with Britain and Germany.
אמש שוחחתי עם ראש ממשלת בריטניה רישי סונאק, בקרוב אני גם משוחח עם מנהיגים נוספים. אני מודה לידידינו על תמיכתם בהגנת ישראל, ואני אומר את זה גם תמיכה במילים וגם תמיכה במעשים. יש להם גם כל מיני הצעות ועצות, אני מעריך את זה, אבל אני רוצה להבהיר שאת ההחלטות שלנו אנחנו נקבל בעצמנו. ומדינת ישראל תעשה כל מה שצריך כדי להגן על עצמה. הממשלה תאשר היום את תוכנית תקומה לשיקום יישובי עוטף עזה. אנחנו נשקיע סכום של גדול מאוד, של 19 מיליארד שקלים, כדי להזניק את יישובי עוטף עזה לדורות. אנחנו נשקיע בדיור, בתשתיות, בחינוך, בתעסוקה, ברפואה ועוד. מחבלי החמאס ביקשו לעקור אותנו, אנחנו נעקור אותם ונעמיק שורש. נבנה את ארץ ישראל, נשמור על המדינה שלנו. תודה רבה לכם.
Okay, there you heard the entire or you read the entire statement, unless you speak Hebrew. They are going to build, it's about $5 billion, the $19 billion shekels, as he referred to it, is about $5 billion that they are going to invest in Israeli settlements on the Gaza Strip. And we've talked about it before. I've mentioned the Gaza Canal. They've got plans to construct a canal to challenge the Suez Canal as far as transporting ships from the Mediterranean down to the Gulf. And it's never really been about anything other than money. Netanyahu unveils plan to construct settlement, $5 billion. Okay, this was the English version. My bad. I played the Hebrew version. Boeing whistleblower just told a Senate hearing that workers were, quote, jumping on pieces of airplane, end quote, to make the plane fit together. That's not a good sign. He also says he would not put his family on a Boeing 787 plane. Okay, I mentioned last night that I had just seen video of B-52s being loaded with nuclear-tipped cruise missiles, and that I didn't have access to the video from the platform it was on. I do now. And here is that video. Each one of these pods contains, or each one of these pods doesn't contain. Each one of these pods holds three different cruise missiles, as you can see. Each one of those cruise missiles has a nuclear warhead, it's like a 200 megaton nuclear warhead, and they can travel about 1,800 to 2,000 miles once they are launched from the B-52s. Each B-52 can hold 2 of those pods on each wing. So there's 5 tankers coming down from Great Britain from Mendenhall Air Force Base, as we showed at the very beginning of the show, and we will get back to you here in just a second and show you if you recently joined. Now, if there are 5 refuelers, let's say there are 5 bombers. Each one of those bombers has 12 different nuclear missiles on board. So that's 60 potential nuclear cruise missiles that just this group that may be active could launch. And it would have to take strikes like this to get to the Iranian nuclear facilities, because they're all underground, and they're all, in structures built within mountains. So in order to actually take out the nuclear facilities, you would need multiple weapons like this that would make that area just unusable. Let's see. Hezbollah publishes footage that allegedly shows the destruction of the Iron Dome. We talked about that last night. Okay, so again, recapping, and if you're just joining us, here's where we are at. Let's make sure that one's still there. Okay, one's popped back up, so now there are 3. Nope, this is a passenger plane. All right, these 2 are still on. Their transponders are still on. They've just about. There are 3 more of these tankers in the air back behind them, flying in a chain, and there we go. We will. I'll be monitoring to see if they go to the Mediterranean over Gibraltar, or if they continue down here and begin to go towards the west, towards the Azores, which is where when the B-1s came over and they did the strike on the Iranian proxies down in Yemen, the Houthis, they refilled over the Azores. So I'll be monitoring that. But 5 of these planes at this time is very, very unusual, and they're out there probably to refill other planes. That's their purpose. I apologize for my screen going out. So anyway, since it is out, we will say Thank you very much for clicking on. I'm not going to be over in the chat tonight. My apologies to anyone that might be there, and my gratuity for you being there. Thank you so very much. Everybody watching live, everybody in the chat, and those of you watching at your convenience. Wrapping things up, the United States may be positioning military assets to support an Israeli strike on Iran, or to reinforce the defense of Israel in the event, the probability of an Iranian counterstrike. The threat level for United States military bases has been raised to Charlie, and Charlie is primarily a potential terrorist threat related threat level. And that would make sense if an attack is imminent, that the potential for Iranian cells to activate here, and for the United States military to have its bases on guard. And that does include in Kentucky. Fort Knox, Kentucky has even upgraded its security even more. So hopefully, as well, 911 service is out through the entire state of South Dakota. 911 service is out through at least Las Vegas in Nevada. And also, I'm hearing possibility of some areas of Texas. So could be cyber attack, could be just a massive coincidence, which would be very coincidental. So thanks for clicking on. I love y'all almost as much as chocolate chip cookies. And I will be back on with Chris coming up at 9 p.m. on Friday night. And we'll be talking about all of this, and we may be talking about more. It depends. Again, the past 2 nights, Israel has planned and then aborted the plans. Was it to allow the United States to get into position? We'll find out. Thanks for clicking on. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. And share this if you think it's worthy, and I hope you do. And once again, it remains a very dark world. So that's a challenge. When it's a dark world, it's a challenge, even more so to be a light. But we need the lights. We need people that will not go down in the night, but shall keep shining on. And shine on, brothers and sisters. I love you all very much. Wish you nothing but peace. And it's a dark world. Be a light. Until the next time, this is Eyes Open on the American Doofus channel.